Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack just released, and we've got to rank the Nintendo 64 games from it. First off, I will say I own almost all of these games, but I will be ranking them from 1 to 9 because there is only 9 Nintendo 64 games on the expansion pack so far. And if you didn't know, the Switch Online costs $20 a year normally, but to get the expansion pack, it costs $50 for an individual a year, or $80 on a family plan up to 8 people. So is this even worth it? We'll see about that. Now, I will be doing this list a little bit differently. We're not just gonna start from the worst and go to the best. We're gonna start with 4, 5, and 6, then talk about 3, 2, 1, and then talk about the 3 worst games on this list. So let's go ahead and talk about game number 4. Game number 4 on this list has to be Yoshi's Story for me, and there's a few reasons why, but first off, that theme song will get stuck in your head, and you will start this game up, and then that game song will be stuck in your head for days, if not weeks, which is good or bad depending on how you view it. But I really enjoyed this game. I love kind of the feel of it. Going back and playing this game kind of reminds me of Paper Mario, but with a Yoshi spin to it. So I definitely like these kind of cute platformers, and this is definitely one that you should be playing. The 5th game on this list is Star Fox, and this might be a controversial opinion, but I think it really fits in the middle of the road on this listing. Now, when you talk about other games we'll get to, so bear with me, I feel like Star Fox is one of those games that is beloved, but it's not like up there in top tier as some of the longer games. And I think for me personally, I enjoy playing Yoshi's Story better than I do actual Star Fox 64. However, I don't want to knock it. It's an amazing game, but some of those other games are longer and I feel like I enjoy them more. So that's why Star Fox 64 landed at number 5 for me. The next game we have to talk about is Dr. Mario 64, and I'm putting this at number 6. Now, why am I holding it at such a high kind of regarded game? Now, this is a ton of fun, and I've already beat the game on my Nintendo Switch because I just love this game so much. It's really fun to go through the story and all of that. So if you like Dr. Mario from the NES, or there was one on the SNES as well, I really enjoy this game, and so that's why it kind of is up there higher for me than it would for other people. But I do like the cutscenes. Everything reminds me, like I said earlier, of Paper Mario. So I definitely have to add this to the list, kind of a little bit higher up than probably other people put it. And putting it at 6, I feel like is the right spot for it. Talking about game number 3 on this list, and this is where it kind of got a little difficult for me. And I had to put Mario Kart 64 as number 3, and that's solely because this game is very heavy on the multiplayer game, and so if I'm by myself, the replayability of this game isn't as much as than it would be if I had friends. Now, don't get me wrong, playing multiplayer 64 Mario Kart is totally amazing, but I feel like for this Switch Online, I feel like I'm probably not going to play it as much in multiplayer as I probably should, and I need to for sure. But I feel like other games can go ahead of this, but I feel like 3 is the perfect spot for it just because this game is so good. It's probably in the top 5 or maybe top 10 of Nintendo 64 games of all time. If not in the top 3, but I had to add it here, and I love this game. There's not much more to say. It's a Mario Kart game. It's a ton of fun, and if you haven't played it, now's your chance. That brings me to game number 2, and that is Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now, Zelda is an amazing series, and I feel like this one had to be either 1 or 2, and when it came down to it, for me, I think this spot, number 2, is amazing for this game. It's an awesome Zelda game. I literally don't have too much to say about it because there's just been so much said about this system in the past 25 years, and so I feel like this is an amazing game. It's an amazing game on the Nintendo 64, taking Zelda and moving into the 3D world. was totally amazing, but it wasn't quite number one for me, and I could really flip one or two, to be honest, depending on the day or whatever, but I'm gonna put Zelda Ocarina of Time on number 2. That probably makes it pretty easy for you to figure out what number 1 on this list is, and that is Super Mario 64. If you've never played Super Mario 64, now is the perfect chance. It's been on millions of different systems, on like the Wii U Virtual Console. I believe it was on the 3DS or the DS actually, but you can play it on the 3DS. So if you've never played this game, now is a great time to do it. You can pick it up, pay for a year, and then if you don't ever want to play it again, you don't have to, but if you want to, you can continually play it. And this is one of those games that is a game changer. I absolutely love Super Mario 64. I actually recently played through it whenever the Super Mario All-Stars came out, the 3D one for the Nintendo Switch. I played it there, so I probably won't be playing it too much on this online, but at the same time, I'll probably still at least open it up and play it a little bit. So if you haven't made this your number 1, I'm kind of confused. Maybe you're more of a Zelda fan than Mario, but this definitely earns my top spot. Super Mario 64 going 3D was amazing back in the day, and even still playing it today, it is a ton of fun, and this is one of my favorite games, probably of all time, at least in the top 5, if not higher, so it definitely had to be on the first spot here for this ranking. If you are enjoying this video right now and you are not subscribed, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. 78% of people that watch my channel aren't actually subscribed, so do me and yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button, and let's figure out the rest of these games. With that, we are left with 3 games left, and we're gonna put number 7 as Mario Tennis, which I actually really enjoy this game, but I feel like it doesn't kind of reach to the top, but I can always sit down, play at least one match, or play a ton, and always have fun. I love all the Mario sports games, but this one isn't better than some of those other games we've already talked about, so it did kind of end up lower on this list, but there's only 9 games, so it's really actually pretty awesome to have this on the Switch, because playing this in multiplayer is always fun. You can literally take your Switch anywhere. If you got the new Switch OLED, that new kickstand makes it easy to set up anywhere, put it in desktop mode, and get to playing this game. It's a ton of fun. If you like tennis or you like any of the Mario sports games, I definitely think you should check this game out because it is really awesome. So here we are talking about the last 2 games on this list, and pretty much the worst 2 games on this list. Now, I went back and forth, so don't hate me, but I ended up putting Sin and Punishment at number 8 because of the way it is. Now, I ended up playing through this and the other game a lot, and I ended up starting to like this game. I'd never played it before, and I figured it would probably be on the bottom of this list, but given that I've never played it before, I actually really enjoyed it. So it might make its way up this list the more I play it, but for the hour or 2 that I put into it, I feel like 8 is really good because all those games above it were really awesome. But I really did enjoy this type of shooter. Now, it was really fun, and the controls probably could have been a lot better, and if they were better, this game might be higher on this list. It took me a while to kind of get used to how the movement is, and so I feel like that kind of knocked it down a few games, but overall, 8th isn't bad. By now, you've probably figured out that Win Back is the game that I think is the worst on this list. Now, am I saying this is a bad game? No. Am I saying I hate it? No. For me, it just wasn't as good as the other games. Now, I do know that Win Back is a beloved game, and I think it's actually pretty fun, but for me, I enjoyed the other games over this, so that's why it ended up at number 9. Now, if they would have put GoldenEye on the system instead of Win Back, Sin and Punishment would have been the last game. Let's be real here. But we didn't get GoldenEye. Hopefully we do in the future. For right now, I feel like Win Back is the last game on this system. Overall, this was pretty awesome. Winback is a fun shooter, but I don't think it quite held up and stacked up to all those other games. So there you go. There was all 9 games from the Nintendo 64 expansion pack on the Nintendo Switch Online. So if you've got differing ideas of where these games lie, comment down below and let me know your list. I want to know 1 to 9 what you thought was the best, what you thought is the worst. And realistically, I think this expansion pack is well worth it. Maybe in the future I'll do the Sega Genesis. Comment that below as well if you want to see that. But I really had fun with this. Now, some people were complaining about the controls or the graphics or something like that. I don't care about this. I'm here for the games and they were fun. Being able to grab my Switch and go anywhere with it and play these games is totally awesome. So I think the $50 is well worth it for the first year at least. We'll see if I think that in year 2. Hopefully we get a bunch more games because I do feel like 9 Nintendo 64 games is really light. But with that being said, I definitely enjoyed it. So if you like this video, let me know down below. But with that being said, that's all I got. Peace.